Okay, and we are back, everyone, for another week here on PALS TV. Obviously, we've been having some fun with it. I'd like to thank Jonah for putting that together, working through some technical difficulties, but we'll have that video out to everyone, and you'll be able to watch it on our YouTube channel as well. So we've had a wild ride the first 2 weeks. This week will be no different, with a lot of different twists and turns and great content. Really looking forward to some of our segments we've had the past few weeks and building off of those, and then actually adding some new content in there as well, and some exciting episodes for you coming later on this week. So actually, you can see behind me, I have the birthday cake. This week is Pal's birthday week. Actually, our birthday is on May 14th, so we'll be celebrating that on Thursday. But really excited to have everyone join us here on PALS TV right now. You know, this is the best thing we can do to try to stay connected with all of you. We love seeing your faces and being able to interact in this way. So thank you for continuing to join us here on PALS TV. Start out our day, we're going to be heading over to Steubenville again and doing our live with Amanda and our travel, leisure, or recreation and leisure segment. Last week, we started to cover the Air Force Museum and learning some amazing history about our country and just aviation in general and how far we've come, and really going to build off of that again this week to start jumping into outer space and learning about our mission to the moon and everything that goes along with NASA. So really excited to continue our journey on the United States Air Force Museum tour. So live from Steubenville, we have Amanda.
Hi, everyone. So Aaron, like you said, we are heading off to space today. So let me get my screen shared with you guys. I'm pretty excited. I found some pictures that actually show us the inside of the spaceship. So that's not something you usually get to see. So let me share my screen with you here. All right, thumbs up when you see my screen. Okay, good. All right, let's get you guys bigger so I can see what you're saying and doing on my other screen. Okay. All right, so here we are. We are inside the space section of the exhibit. So not a whole lot going on right here except for this big guy. And this is the crew compartment trainer. So this is what a model of what somebody would use if they were training to be able to go to space. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to head inside the spaceship now. All right, so right off the bat, let me full screen this. So this is what the inside of the spaceship would look like if you were the pilot. I can't even imagine trying to keep track of what all these knobs and buttons do. So you see they got buttons over top their head and switches. They got buttons and switches behind them. In front of them, they have screens. There's the joystick. So can you imagine? I can't imagine being in somewhere like that and thinking, oh my gosh, don't push a button. Fall out of space or something. Nobody wants that. All right, so we're going to head over to our next picture. This cubit's popping into my way. All right, so here's some more of that just from another angle. You can see the seats back here. If you look, they got spaces where their suit would actually hook into to provide them with oxygen, because there's no oxygen in space to breathe. So if you look up here again, we got all our switches and knobs and the buttons. These seats don't look like they'd be very comfortable. Do you think they'd be very comfortable to sit in? I don't think they would. Look at that seat. That does not look like the comfiest of chairs. So now we'll go to the next one. Let's get out of this one. Let's go into this one. So here's a view from the back, and you can just see what will be behind them. I mean, you can just see how far back all the buttons and switches and knobs go. There are their chairs. So usually there's two, 1, 2. We have screens behind them as well. I mean, just the amount of equipment in with these pilots is just incredible. See if we can zoom in on. So there's our key, window jettison handle pin. That would be to kick the window out. Got all our sonar and radar and telling us coolant things. We have abort mode. We have an autopilot. All kinds of things. You notice their windows aren't very big either. Little windows. Guess you can't run anything over in space technically. All right, so now this is more the plane or the space shuttle. This would be where the pilots or the people in the spaceship would spend their time when they weren't flying the ship. So over here, we actually have a space toilet. Not many people can say they've seen a space toilet. There's your hatch to get in and out. And over here, these are their bins where they keep all their supplies. So let's see here. We have fresh food bin. We have a double cold bag bin. What's this one? We have pantry food up here. ISS transfer CDB. We have a vacuum, DC vac. CDA clothing, crew support, cleaning supplies, more clothing. So in here we got some exercise equipment. We have an athletic exercise band, bushing, metric socket set. I'm not quite sure how that's exercise equipment. I may have misspoke on that. So day 2 meal, here's where their food would have been. Day 2's food, day 6, 7, 8, 9's food. We got cushions. So all of their things that they would need for personal use are all kept right in this section right here. Now over here, we have a chair that they would strap themselves into if they were in a weightless position. That way they can get their clothes on, you know, pull things out of the bins without floating away themselves. Let's take a spin here. Show you the rest. There's the top. And you can see up in here, this is where we were before. So they would actually float down into here to get access to all their, you know, personal belongings that they would need. So let's go to our next one. Okay, click. Here's just another view of it. Over here, we have some more bins behind us. Let's see what's in these ones. So we have batteries and, you know, some tools, clothing. Here's a printer that's in this one. Oops. We got some AA batteries and some camera and some work lights. And I did not mean to go into that. Air bottles. So all kinds of interesting stuff. I'll just zoom out and you guys can have another look. We'll spin around. Okay. So that is the inside of this right here. And like I said, they would use that to train new potential pilots. Off to area 2. So there is the full size of what the spaceship would look like. If we were there, we would enter in up here and go on a tour. We'd be able to see a little bit more. But it's very, very large. Okay, let's go off to our next area. So here's what the top looks like. So we get a view of everything. And this would be the entrance to what we were looking at down there. You can see down there the engine a little bit. The teal ruby engine. Let's keep going. So there is the Gemini B, the manned orbiting laboratory spaceship. This spacecraft was built for the U.S. Air Force's manned orbiting laboratory program. Pull over here, see if I can find out. Trying to zoom in on it a little bit more. It's not going to let me get too close, but there would actually be a man inside here, very tight quarters, and they would orbit the Earth. So these are X-24A lifting bodies. Spin. There's another one. This is the Mercury spacecraft. And if you can see a little bit in the window, you can see where somebody would sit inside of there. Definitely like being in a tuna can, huh? All right, over here, let's see. This is a film recovery vehicle. Hexagon KH-9 reconnaissance satellites feature 4 recovery vehicles or buckets that drop back to Earth from orbit carrying exposed reconnaissance camera film for processing. A mapping camera attached for some missions at the front of the satellite added a 5th smaller bucket. U.S. Air Force aircraft snatched the parachuting buckets in midair over the Pacific Ocean near Hawaii. Hexagon film return buckets had to be maneuverable, vacuum sealed, temperature controlled, lightweight, strong, and recoverable. Once ejected from the Hexagon vehicle, a small retro rocket allowed the vehicles for atmospheric reentry with smaller thrusters providing and then slowing a stabilizing spin. The outer cover of high temperature resin charred away to carry off heat during reentry. Another thermal cover plus an array of thermostats and sensors kept the film at the correct temperature in space and during descent. Once the vehicle reached about 50,000 feet, parachutes allowed its descent. Battery-operated radio signal emitters helped aircraft locate the buckets, which could float if they landed in the ocean. McDonnell Douglas built the KH-9s, Mark 8 recovery vehicles, while General Electric made the mapping cameras smaller Mark V vehicles. This is on loan from the National Reconnaissance Office Center for the Study of National Reconnaissance. There's what that looks like. It's very shiny. So we'll take another spin. Up here, that's a thruster. Those are the things that are beside the spaceship to get it up into space. Okay. Let's find out a little bit here. This is a KH-8 reconnaissance satellite. The Gambit 3 KH-8 photo reconnaissance satellite improved on the Gambit 1 KH by providing much better image resolution. Gambit's 3S stereoscopic cameras focused on details in small target areas, while other satellites searched wide areas. Gambit 3 satellites completed 54 missions from 1966 to 1984. The most notable improvement from Gambit 1 to Gambit 3 was the addition of a roll joint between the camera module and the Agena control in the rear. This rolling joint made the satellite extremely stable as a photo platform, conserved film, and increased the number of targets photographed. In addition, the new super thin photographic film allowed the vehicle to carry more film. General Electric built both the Gambit 3 vehicle housing camera and film recovery vehicles, while Eastman Kodak made the KH-8 cameras. Lockheed built the Agena spacecraft. The U.S. Air Force launched the Gambit 3 KH-8 satellites aboard Titan rockets from Vandenberg Air Force Base, California, and provided tracking and control at an Air Force facility in Sunnyvale, California. Film recovery vehicles ejected from satellites re-entered the atmosphere, then deployed parachutes. Specifically equipped U.S. Air Force aircraft caught the film vehicles in midair near Hawaii, like the other one did. You can see right there, this is a newer model. That's how they would get their pictures. So up close. So your camera would be in here. Okay, let's take a spin. Nothing behind us. All right, let's keep going. Loop. Okay, so we have the Bell X1B. It says rescue. So let's find out about this one. The X1B was one of a series of rocket-powered experimental airplanes designed to investigate supersonic flight problems. The X1B's flight research generally related to aerodynamic heating, and the use of small reaction rockets for directional control. The X-18 made its first powered flight in October 1954. A few months later, the U.S. Air Force transferred the X-18 to the NACA, National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics Processor, to NASA, which conducted heating and control tests. The X-18 test played an important role in developing the control system for the later X-15s. So that would be used to study how fast a plane can go. Over here we have an X3. I actually have there we go. See if I can get you in there, guys. All right, that's a SPAD. We're coming up to the SPAD though. All right, so next area. So we just have some more of the same planes we've seen. We have an F-107A right here. North American F-107A. It's not going to let me get close enough to read it. So right here we have a Tacit Blue. Got this big guy right here. He kind of looks like a submarine, doesn't he? Chopper. So we're going to head on in here and I'm going to show you. Let's see here. We are going to head off to right here. We are going to check out the presidential airplane, or the Air Force One. So I actually have pictures for you guys. Let's head on into the Air Force One. Okay, so this is the entrance to Air Force One here. Does anybody know who uses the Air Force One to get around? Raise your hand if you know who uses Air Force One to get around. All right, Caitlin, who uses it?
The president.
The president, that's right. This particular airplane was used for JFK, So let's get back into here. So this is our entrance. So our next area is going to be the cockpit. So this is where the pilots would sit. Again, kind of like the spaceship with all of the knobs and buttons and things that I would not want to have to touch, because I'm telling you, it would not be good for us. Okay, so there's that. Okay. So go to the co-pilot station right here. Just a different angle. So the pilot would be here. Oops. Pilot would be here. We're in what would be the co-pilot seat. Like I said, just another kind of angle. We'll look behind. There's where two other pilots would be able to sit. Each pilot has their own job on the plane, but they all work together. This is, now you're in the seat of someone who would be on the flight deck. Like I said, everybody works together, but they all have their own jobs. So he'd be responsible for this cluster of instruments in front of him. Okay. Now we're going to go to the forward galley. So in here is where all your communications would be. So phone calls, Secret Service would be in there. Back here is our seating area. This would be the kitchen. Got a little stove, microwave sink. You have phones. There's our coffee maker and our microwave. It's going to give us a better view of our communication station right here. You'd have two people that would sit there. You see the phones and all the different buttons and knobs. Passenger music controls your table lights. Let's see, what else do we have here? Data control, audio control. This would be like your air conditioning, your heat, all of those sort of things that all got controlled from right here. Now, hey, pretty exciting. Let's see the presidential bathroom. So this would be the presidential bathroom. Definitely looks a lot nicer than any bathroom I've seen in a plane, that's for sure. You got a vanity right here and a sink. Got all your different lights and mirrors. So this is, now we're going into the presidential private suite. This is where, you know, folks would sit during their flight. You got a couch, TV, chair and a table, a couple phones, got some more seating back here. Just a very comfortable private plane. I'm flying all wrong, I'm telling you. I need to fly like this. So next, once my thingy goes away here. Next is the stateroom. So when we turned around and there was one room, this is another room. You can have some more people sitting here. Got another TV. So very comfortable flight accommodations. So next is the presidential staff area. So this is where presidential staff would sit. People who were working for the president, Secret Service. So this would also be our VIP seating. So these are going to be heads of state or anyone who is traveling on there that isn't the president, so they don't get the fancy room, but hey, they at least get some comfy seats, right? Next is the presidential gallery, which I don't know why it's putting us back in here again. So this would just be the kitchen where all the meals and things were prepped. And this goes away. This would be where the crew would sit, like the stewardesses, valets, things like that. They have these jump seats right here. They unsnap, they fall down, and they would sit there. They have a phone. Nothing too exciting there. And just another view of the entrance. So a little bit about this, I had actually started to work on getting you guys some information. Let's see here, pull up my screen. Pull it over here so you guys can see it. Oh, not that screen. This screen. No, it did not. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get you the. Ha! There we go. Just a little bit of information about this. Begin from beginning. Got it. All right, so this is the SAM 2600. It was the first of two Boeing VC-137C United States Air Force aircraft specially configured and maintained for use by the President of the United States. It used the CAL sign Air Force One when the President was on board. Otherwise, SAM, yeah, well, you guys can see screen 2 there. Spoken as SAM 26000 with SAM indicating special air mission. SAM 2600 was a customized Boeing 707. It entered service in 1962 during the administration of John F. Kennedy and was replaced in presidential service in 1972, but kept as a backup. The aircraft was finally retired in 1998 and is now on display at the National Museum of the United States Air Force near Dayton, Ohio, where we are exploring today. The aircraft was built at Boeing's Renton plant at a cost of $8 million. Raymond Loewy, working with President Kennedy, designed the blue and white color scheme featuring the presidential seal that is still used today. The plane served as the primary means of transportation for 3 presidents: Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, and Richard Nixon during his first term. In 1972, during the Nixon administration, the plane was replaced by another 707, SAM 27000. Although SAM 26000 was kept as a backup plane until 1998. So these are just things that we've already looked at. So I'm going to pop this back over here. And we will X out of that. X out of that. And I will go back to sharing my front screen with you. There you go. So that was just a little bit of the presidential plane. I thought it was pretty cool to see. We've got several different planes we can look through here. So the next one I wanted to show you guys is the where are you? Yeah. Excuse me, I've lost my page. So I want to just show you this, the cockpit of a fighter plane. It's a flying Falcon. So pilot would sit there. Remember I said before, you got the hood that comes down around you. And then you got all those gears and things of that sort. So let's head on over to our next area. So this is just some more of Air Force One. This is a smaller plane. This is the Jetstar. This right here is the Columbine 3 to be exact, which that is in here, and I can show you that. I believe it is. Unfortunately, it is not, but this is the Columbine plane, another big one used by the U.S. Air Force. So just some more. Right there's the presidential seal. That's what is on the Air Force One plane. So this is a Air Force Reserve. You can see a little bit of the thrusters. This is a General Electric TF-39 turbofan engine. You see all the things right there. We have exhaust pipes. It says beware of blast. You definitely wouldn't want to be anywhere nearby when one of these was taking off. It's inside of a cargo bay of one of the planes where they could drop cargo if they would need to. So the cargo goes on this rack right here. It pushes and then it drops it off. Okay, so now we're going to head out to the air park. Whew. So right here we have a C-60A. Definitely a big plane. You can tell it's that one I can actually show you. Let me find my C-60A here. Well, maybe not. I don't know why my computer's acting funny, guys. But you can see right there, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 propellers on it. Really big guy. And we're gonna keep going. Airport 2. Right here we have a C-17 Globemaster 3. See if we can find that one in there. C-17 Globemaster. Okay. There we go. All right, so this is that plane we are looking at. So right here is the front cockpit. Spin around. Now, if you see, it's only got 4 seats, same as the other one. Each seat has its own set of jobs to do. Then we have in here some different tools, and you can see back there where the cargo would go. And this is the whole flight deck. This is where we were. All those knobs and buttons and This is the observation station. So see right back here, this is where all the cargo would go and be dropped out of. You've got some electrical wiring. You've got seats here for other crew. This is a 2-level plane. You have steps that are going down to the lower level, which we should be able to see. And here, this is the loadmaster station. This is where those steps would have led down to. There you got cargo there that can be pushed out or dropped out from right there. There's your steps leading up. You got a seat right there for whoever would be stationed down here. Got your emergency exit door. We have the forward cargo area. Now we're actually in the cargo area. You can see up. People who have flown this plane have left their stickers and signatures. I see a Don Clark, Charles P., Staff Sergeant Dave Hamilton. So just different people who have been on this plane, flown it, have left their monikers. Have our fire extinguisher down there, and they could load all this cargo right here. Down here, we have the clips on the floor that would hold the cargo in place. Looks kind of similar to the floors in our PALS bus that we used to hold our wheelchairs down. And right out the back door, they can go. And this is just an alternate view of the forward-facing cargo area. This is more towards the middle. So right here, this, you can see the hinges. This is where the floor would drop out. Let's X out of these. So that is right there. That was the C-17 Globemaster that we were looking at. And I still want to see if I can find the C-60A. So let's see if we can find it. C-60A. Nope. There are no C-60As we can view, but that's okay. So let's see here. Let's go back over here. I see another plane that we have apparently missed. There's our Globemaster. No, it's not going to tell me the name of this one. I see a, let's see here, C-17. That's what this one is. So let's see if we can find a C-17. Oh, that's where we were. So again, kind of the same thing. All right, so let's head on over. So the next part in the Air Force Museum is our Memorial Park. And this is just honoring some of our soldiers, fallen soldiers. So we have Sergeant John Chapman, Colonel George E. Day. Just a memorial for them. We have an insignia right here that says Valor. And we're loading. Let me try refreshing it, guys. There we go. Go back through all the things we've seen. Gotta click through a lot of different areas to get back to where we were. There we go. So this is just more of the memorial park. We have a memorial right here. This is the American Volunteer Group AVG Memorial, July 1941 to July 4th, 1942. So this would have been the Aeronauts Flying Tigers. So you can see right there, you got a tiger. And our plane up here. We have the U.S. Air Force Pilot Training Class 52G and H, all their stuff. And we'll walk around the park a little bit more tomorrow because we're about out of time. But does anybody have any questions or have a specific plane they would want to look a little bit more at? You know, raise your hand and let me know if there was anything you guys would want to see more. No? All right, well, I'm going to turn it over to Aaron then. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, Amanda, thank you. Another terrific segment. We appreciate it as always. If you'd like to go back and watch any of the previous weeks, first week we were at the Smithsonian. And then last week we did the initial tour of the Air Force Museum. So you can go back to our website on PALS Chrysalis Health and then go to PALS TV, and underneath the schedule for this week, you can find those previous episodes. So I always want to let you know where to go and find that information. So thanks again, Amanda. Another terrific tour live from Steubenville, Ohio. That was Amanda. So thank you.
You're welcome. It was great hanging out with you guys.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow morning. All right. Everybody else, we'll be taking a short break and then coming back to you live from Gallia County. See you soon.